I think after weeks of just working more hours than I wanted to, it just wasn't sustainable. I had to go back to my why. The reason why I started my business was to have more personal time for myself and to do the legal work. I know I signed up to do the legal work plus everything else, but if I don't have to, and if I foresee the time that I'm putting in isn't sustainable and frankly sometimes just isn't working because of my lack of expertise, I need to outsource. So I think I just got to a breaking point where I'm like, I just can't dedicate my time to initiatives like this that probably just aren't working as well as they could.
Thank you for tuning into Time for You Evolve for female entrepreneurs. Remember, you have what it takes to achieve greatness. Your time is now. You're here with me, you're ready to change lives, and you're ready to change the world. Isn't it time to skip over the confusion and start creating sustainable and consistent results? We're going to pull back the curtain and start giving meaning to life in this podcast. Time for You Evolved. Hey, my name is Lisa Carmichael, and I am obsessed with everything online. It's no secret, in this crowded and highly competitive business world, we need to stand out. It's even more important at a deeper level to stand up for ourselves. I am a farm girl who grew up shy with zero confidence. If someone had suggested that I would eventually start a podcast, I would never have believed it. As a farm kid, I had the unique opportunity to embrace a holistic approach to life. All the seasons of growth were lessons that have helped me and other female entrepreneurs find success when they've been stuck and struggling. The Time for You Evolve podcast is here to help you navigate business online so you can be laser focused and help you navigate the messy and the magical in every season of your business. Pull up a seat to hear the tried and true secrets that other female entrepreneurs like you are facing and get ready for real talk while you learn. This is the Time for You Evolved podcast. Hey there, entrepreneurs, ready to work smarter, not harder? Then you're in for a treat. Let's talk about video marketing, the smart approach that attracts, retains, and converts faster than any other strategy out there. Hey, I get it. Video marketing can be daunting. You know, you should be doing it, but you're not quite ready to take that leap, or you're frustrated because you're not looking like a pro. Hey, I get it. Who can blame you? Creating videos can be frustrating, time-consuming, and downright intimidating. That's where Big View comes in. It's the solution for your frustration. With Big View, you can create professional videos with ease thanks to its teleprompter app. I've been using Big View for years. Did you know that? Big View is an app that has saved me a lot of time and hassle. The app makes it easy to create professional looking videos. It's an online teleprompter that allows the presenter to keep eye contact with the camera while reading the text they need to speak. Using a teleprompter app allows the reader to sound natural without cue cards or notes to fumble or looking down while you're speaking. And the best part is that Big View allows you to focus on your performance and delivery so your confidence shines through. You get to keep eye contact with the camera while you're reading your script. Whether you're a marketer, a blogger, a trainer, a freelancer, a publisher, or business owner, Big View is designed with you in mind. If you're ready to take your video marketing game to the next level, click on the Big View link on my website, lisarcarmichael.com/bigview. Join me and be the best presenter you can be and learn how to make great presentations. And that's lisarcarmichael.com/bigview. Welcome to the Time for You Evolve podcast. And today my guest is Corrin Swintosky. Corrin is a freelance paralegal and she is working abroad right now. She left the United States, has it been like 9 months? How long have
A
you?
little less. I left in April, so about 6 months, I think
Okay.
now. Yeah.
And she specializes in criminal law and she's traveling the world. And when she first told me she was going to do this, I knew she was going to because Corinne is just that person. I knew when she said she wanted to travel around the world and work abroad, I knew she would. Let's just pause for a moment. I would love for you to introduce yourself and maybe, first of all, tell us where you're at today.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you for having me, Lisa. This is a really unique opportunity to kind of talk with you and other female entrepreneurs. So I'm really happy to be here. I am currently in Buenos Aires, Argentina. I have been here since the end of August. My plan is to be here until early November. That could very much change. I don't have plans after this, so I might extend. But like you said earlier, I've been traveling abroad since April of this year. I've been traveling through Central and South America. Part of it is the draw of the culture, I think, just very family oriented, community oriented, really being able to slow down instead of just always on the go, as well as perfecting my second language, which is Spanish. I'm nowhere near fluent, but I definitely can get by, and I love to continue to practice when I can. I started my business last year in April in hopes of just finding a little bit more of a work-life balance, independence, freedom. And that's exactly what I built in the past couple of years. The goal was to be abroad and be able to still assist attorneys, law firms, and individuals that are in the criminal legal system and still promote access to justice. So I'm still very much involved in the United States, despite my geographic location.
Well, and you're the true definition of a freelance entrepreneur
Yes,
because you would not be able to work abroad if you worked for someone. Maybe, but
exactly.
probably not. So you started your journey out. One thing that stuck in my mind is that you were staying at an Airbnb and the price that you were paying for that Airbnb was even less than how much you would pay for rent if you were locked into a lease here in Minnesota.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think that's a big common misconception that people have, and a lot ask me. They're like, "Well, since you're traveling so much, aren't you spending all this money, plane tickets, Airbnbs, what have you?" I will say that if you're jumping around how I am, country to country in a similar geographic area, it's way more affordable going one way, of course. And then my average Airbnb prices for an apartment about 1 month is tend to how long I usually stay is like $500 to $700 if it's like luxury, like nice. And where I'm staying right now in Buenos Aires is very nice. It's a 2-level condo. It has a balcony on each level. I mean, it's top tier, and it's about 700 US dollars for the month that I'm staying. So yeah, it's way more affordable than if I were to stay in Minnesota, which is crazy.
So, being abroad, do you cook in your kitchen? Are you creating your own meals or are you eating out a lot? And would that be any different than if you lived here in Minnesota?
A little bit of both. Yeah, that's a good question too. I think when I first get to a new place, I'm very much wanting to know the restaurants that I could walk or bike to, or the must-haves for the local food. I really love to immerse myself as much as I can in the culture. So I think for the first week or two, I definitely eat out a lot more than normal. But what I love about Central and South America is that you have so much access to fresh fruits and vegetables, and I love to take advantage of that and being able to cook. So in my last couple weeks, or now being in Buenos Aires for month 2, I've been doing a lot more cooking than eating out, and it is a lot different than if I would be in Minnesota. I think in Minnesota I mainly would be cooking. I am vegan vegetarian, so it's a little harder in South America to be a vegan vegetarian. I will say it's the meat capital, or one of the meat capitals of the world here. But in Minnesota, I think we all know inflation, prices have gotten so high. I don't really want to pay $20 for a meal anymore. It just, unless it's like one of my favorite restaurants. So here, at least in Argentina, meals run from $6 maybe to $10 if you go to a really nice restaurant. So it's more affordable as well.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So, with that said,
your living expenses has decreased because you're traveling.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And I would say another thing with Airbnb that maybe some people don't know is that utilities are all included. So Wi-Fi, electricity, water, everything, versus if I was to stay in Minnesota, rent, and then on top of that, utilities, and then a car insurance, all that stuff that comes with life. I drastically decreased that when I just decided to go ahead, live out of a suitcase and go abroad.
Mm. So when you left the United States, did you already have clients because you were already working as a freelancer?
Correct.
Did you feel obligated to let your companies, the businesses know this?
Yeah, it was a tough decision because in the legal field, I think that there's this negative connotation with people who aren't in the office or who aren't there all the time, that aren't dedicated to the work. And I think I was concerned telling people that maybe they would feel that way. But the clients that I'm very close to, the clients that I've had for a little over a year at the time, I think when I started, or at least 6 months, we built a very strong professional as well as personal relationship. So at that point, I did feel comfortable enough to tell them, and they knew. And it's been great. They followed up and asked me, how are things? Where are you now? And it's funny, whenever I ask to or tell them that I need to take time off, because usually I'm flying out somewhere, they're like, well, where are you going? They already know. They already know that I'm traveling somewhere else. So initially I was concerned and I was a little anxious about it, but I was confident in the relationship that I built with my clients that it would be okay.
I am such a visual person that I almost can see you imagining this and how you had planned for it so that you would have those companies that you would be working for. So how much planning went into this before you left?
It was, let's see, I decided to go abroad in December 2023. And I think I started taking it really seriously January this year. So about 4 months in advance. And a couple of the clients that I had and had worked with, I would go in person once in a while. So that conversation needed to be had where, hey, I'm physically not going to be here anymore, but I can do all the work remote. I'm willing to be adaptable and versatile and things that you need if the role needs to change and things like that, or just be open. Hey, if this, isn't going to work out, I also understand too. But being a freelance paralegal, I can do everything remote. I think just some clients prefer that in-person touch, which I totally get. So professionally, I'd say January of this year. And then, yeah, when I made the decision in December last year, it was all hands on deck, selling a bunch of stuff, furniture, clothes, whatever to make the jump. Because my lease ended in April, which is why I decided to leave in April, because I didn't want to renew. So
really it was the communication that you had with your employers so that they knew exactly what you were up to, because nobody likes surprises, especially if they have someone that's working abroad. So I appreciate that. How have you brought in any new clients since you've left the country?
I have, yes. I've brought in two new clients. One was a referral from a current client that I had, and then another was someone who just found me online and just booked a meeting with me. So I've gotten two new, but I mean, I'm definitely working full time. For sure. I'm very busy, consistently busy, definitely not complaining, but yes, I've gotten a couple new since I've left. I'm only licensed to work in the United States. I don't believe if I could work somewhere else, I think I'd have to either take some courses or get some other type of paralegal certification and definitely learn the language, at least here, if I was to work elsewhere. So solely clients are from the United States.
And that brings up another point that you'd mentioned to me once too. With speaking Spanish, there are different dialects in the different areas that you've been in. And I've heard about that before, but how has that affected getting along in a different country? And they speak it a little bit different than you anticipated.
It's been a challenge. It's definitely been a challenge. I think when you're in the United States, if you even learn Spanish in school, you're taught the Mexico dialect because that's what's closest, of course. But I started in Mexico and then I made my way down to Colombia, and Colombia's dialect is a little different. And I think Colombia also uses a lot of slang. They have a lot of words and phrases that only Colombia uses. So I would hear someone and I thought that I just didn't understand or I missed something, but it's like, well, I never learned that word or I never learned that phrase before because I was learning kind of the Mexico Spanish. And I would say specifically in Argentina, their dialect is completely off and different. I don't know if you've heard that before, but Argentinian Spanish is, it sounds like it sounds like another language mixed with Spanish, I would say. But since I've been here about a month or two and I've adapted to listening and speaking with people, I've gotten a lot more accustomed. I think you get used to it quicker than you would think if you're surrounded by it all the time. So
Okay. And tell me again, what city are you in?
Buenos Aires,
Oh, you are in,
Argentina.
okay, you are in Buenos Aires. Okay.
Hmm.
And is it bigger than you imagined it to be?
Not necessarily. It reminds me a lot of Chicago, and my partner lives in Chicago, so I visited Chicago many times over the years. We're in a long distance relationship. So it's about the size of Chicago. I will say I'm surprised by how well the public transportation is here. I've kind of heard that in a lot of other places aside from the States, that the public transportation system is just better, more efficient. Another thing about Buenos Aires that's very interesting is that when you look on the map, it looks like it's on the ocean. You know, it looks like it's on the coast. It's not on the coast here at all. There's like a river that runs through, but it's not a coastal city. So I'm a big surfer. I was a little unfortunate to learn that, but I'll have plenty of time wherever else I end up.
Most other countries are well aware of what goes on in the United States versus us knowing what's going on in Argentina. Are you finding that there as well?
100%. It was an eye-opener for me. With this upcoming election, every place that I've been, the election news on the election is on the news in the country that I've been in. People are very aware of the candidates. They have their personal opinions on candidates. It's amazing because you're right. Back in the States, I'm like, I couldn't name one political person outside of the United States. I couldn't name what party they're in. I don't, nothing. So I was very shocked to learn how informed people are about what's going on in the United States right now.
And why do you think that is?
My personal opinion is that I think a lot of people from the United States believe that it's the best country in the world. We do everything the best. We are a powerhouse. We influence a lot of other countries. And that's the only country we have to worry about. And if you believe that, that is completely fine and dandy. Versus, I think other countries, maybe, I think one of it is a lot of other countries learn a second language. So maybe it's easier for them to want to learn about what's going on in other countries too. And I think maybe these other countries are smaller. So you kind of have to learn about what's going on with your neighbor versus in the United States, we only have Canada and Mexico and we're kind of isolated, maybe a little bit more too. But yeah, I think the only learning English, being kind of isolated and not, I guess just the lack of care kind of prevents you from wanting to learn about what else is going on. Because I learned recently that Mexico had an election last year. Colombia had an election this year. There were a couple other countries that had an election this year. And I had no idea they were all so close together, including the United States.
Yeah, it does create an awareness. There's so many good things that are coming your way with traveling abroad.
I definitely wanted that worldview, and that's what I'm getting. So I'm happy about that. Culture shocks and all, and yeah, it's been amazing.
And you said that you've marketing is going well and you are staying busy with work.
Yes.
So as a freelancer, do you see yourself being that you're alone in another country? Are you working more than you would if you'd be here in the United States? Or what is that balance that you're finding?
Sure. I wouldn't say necessarily that I'm working more, only because recently I've gotten a tiny bit better at delegating to some other people on my team. I did recently hire a digital marketer, so she's handled a lot of the content that I maybe did in addition to the legal work that I do. So that's made a little less work for me in a sense. I might be working a little bit more only because of the time difference. In Buenos Aires, I am 2 hours ahead of Central Time. Most of my clients are Central Time, so I want to make sure that I'm available not only the regular hours, that I work, but also for them too. It's not a huge time difference, but I find myself being up a little later sometimes to accommodate for that. But with the work in general, I don't think I'm necessarily working more on legal stuff for my clients than I would be if I was in the States, because I am really trying to get better about the delegating to my team.
And outstanding. Congratulations. That's a huge step when you hire someone
Thank
into
you.
your business. So was that a tough decision for you?
Yes, it was a very tough decision. I am a bit of a control freak. I like to do things my way. I have trust issues in terms of letting other people do their job, but I had to learn very quickly that, you as a business owner, you're not going to be an expert in everything. Hire experts, hire people that know what they're doing, get out of their way, and then do what you do best. And I think after hiring some people, seeing them come in and do just that has really helped with my, trust issues and delegation issues where it's like, okay, finding the right person's really difficult. Having them prove themselves to you on what you want and working with you is difficult, but it's also a team effort. It's not just kind of delegating. It's like they're my digital marketer. She's the expert in content. I'm not just giving her content to post. She's coming back and giving me recommendations and things that could improve. And that's a benefit that I had never thought of before.
I think as female entrepreneurs, getting that positive ROI is always a struggle. And we never feel like we're quite ready to take that leap. And you took the leap. So maybe what was the clinching factor in your mind when you made that decision to hire someone?
I think after weeks of just working more hours than I wanted to, it just wasn't sustainable. I had to go back to my why. The reason why I started my business was to have more personal time for myself and to do the legal work. I know I signed up to do the legal work plus everything else, but if I don't have to, and if I foresee the time that I'm putting in isn't sustainable, and frankly, sometimes just isn't working because of my lack of expertise, I need to outsource. So I think I just got to a breaking point where I'm like, I just can't dedicate my time to initiatives like this that probably just aren't working as well as they could.
Hmm. Well, I mean, you had a choice of just not doing anything about it at all, and just
Correct.
focusing on work. So I love
Hmm.
that you're helping somebody else out by hiring them, I'm guessing,
Hmm.
and you're working together, and that also solves that problem of that most solo entrepreneurs have, is that loneliness factor.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and are you feeling more of that or less of that now that you're working abroad?
Surprisingly, I found less of that. I actually feel like I have a newfound peace now. I think part of the reason why I left, and this goes into a little bit personal, is that I felt like I was surrounded by so much noise and by around a lot of people that maybe didn't understand why I started a business, why I was on the journey that I was on. And I think I let the noise get to me a lot of times. So now being away from the noise and being able to focus on me, my business, what's important, it's been really empowering. And yeah, it's given me a newfound peace. I would also say I think it's helped me redirect where when I do come back, I know, the people that I do want to interact with, that I want to build relationships with. I think, I'm still only a year and a half in. This is still very new to me, but now knowing and finding people such as yourself, Lisa, who, are supportive, understand the entrepreneurship, that's who I want to surround myself with, not necessarily the people that I was surrounding myself with before I left.
If you were to look back, let's say 2 years ago, and you're here right now, what advice would you give yourself to that person 2 years ago? And were you done with, I don't even remember when you graduated from college. So
2022 was
okay.
my graduate program, and then my undergrad was 2020.
Okay. So yeah, let's
2 years
back up
ago.
time. What advice would you give yourself?
I would say don't feed into the self-doubt and negativity. Just trust yourself and do it. If I would have followed that advice earlier, I think I would have done this a lot sooner.
Mm, awesome. And what are your plans going forward? Do you mind sharing?
Yeah, so business-wise, Minnesota has a really great new initiative where they are going to be starting January 1st, 2025, allowing non-attorneys in certain practice areas to be able to represent clients directly. So instead of going through an attorney, me as a paralegal, I can represent a client on their criminal case with their criminal record in court and be able to give legal advice. So I'm already trying to develop systems in order to do intakes with clients and come up with processes and workflows in order to help work on their case with my team. And I'm super excited about that because that's really what I've always wanted to do. I know that's more attorney work, and if it wasn't for the time and money, maybe I would have gone that route. But being able to be a legal professional and a paralegal without having, to just go through an attorney or to have people pay the cost of an attorney, I'm so much more of a affordable alternative, really is doing what my business strives for, which is promoting access to justice. And this initiative is going to do just that. And I'm super excited to be able to participate starting next year in Minnesota.
So that means that you might come back.
Not necessarily.
Oh.
So I'm at a crossroads right now. I could come back and I could start to do that in person, but all the hearings are remote. They're over Zoom. And then I could just hire some type of legal assistant that is in Minnesota that could maybe take care of some of the paper filings and things like that. So I don't necessarily have to come back. If I want to, I don't know yet. And thankfully I still have time to
That's awesome.
decide.
That's awesome. Well, a different question for you, it would be, how can we, as your listeners, support you while you're abroad? Because I just love the idea of what you're doing. And I think there are a lot of women who would love to even start a business somewhere outside of the United States. So let's start with, how can we support you?
Wow, I wasn't expecting that question. How can I be supported? This is where the asking for help, the troublesomeness is a weakness of mine that's starting to seep in. But I guess an answer that first comes to mind more indirectly is just normalizing being able to work wherever from wherever and be successful. I think the United States in the employment sector still is having hybrid work environments or forcing you to come in to prove that you can do the job, what have you. And it's just, at COVID, we've seen that that's not necessary. So I think just continuing to normalize and being confident in your ability to do the work from wherever you are, hopefully we'll start to have that ripple effect and continue. Yeah, I guess more directly, if anyone is interested, I do have a travel vlog on YouTube that I can direct you to if you want to support my travels by watching my shorts. I do have a couple longer videos where I kind of drown on a little bit. I don't expect anyone to watch my 20-minute videos, but my shorts, I feel like I try to do a good job of showing my experiences culturally, what's going on, just different things that I see and experience and feel during my travels that a lot of people requested before I even left the States to show them. So if you want to check that out, that would be cool.
Of course. And how can listeners find you?
You can find me at lucidlegalsupport.com.
Sounds good. And one more question. So you are a paralegal and you offer legal support, and what is the kind of population that you serve?
The population that I mainly serve, I do criminal defense. So that's usually when people either get arrested or get a criminal charge and I help attorneys through the trial process, going to court, things like that. But I would say that my main niche is people that have already gone through the legal system, already gone through the court system, they've served their time, but they still have this criminal case on their record. And I think what a lot of people don't know is that having a criminal record is a huge barrier to getting access to higher paying jobs, decent housing, education, travel, driving, a bunch of different things. You lose all those rights and freedoms and you don't get them back automatically. So what I do is there's a couple remedies called either criminal expungement, which seals your record from the public. So landlords or jobs, they can't find the record and not hire you or not give you the rental. And then another remedy I also do is called pardons, which basically forgives the offense that you committed. So you get all those freedoms and rights back. So those are the two populations and niche areas that I work in directly.
So do you feel that maybe you're almost safer being out of country with the people that you work with the type of clients that you have, or is that not the case?
I don't think so. I get that question a lot, and it's very interesting because I used to work in probation, and it used to be very distinct. I'm a young white woman working with a bunch of Black men. We have nothing in common. How am I going to build this relationship? And I think I've learned over time just being very genuine with my intentions and what I can do and my want and willingness to help, I think has helped people open up and see, okay, like she actually wants to help me. It doesn't always happen. It doesn't always work, but I've never felt unsafe meeting with a client, talking with a client. Because I think if you're in criminal defense or if you're in the criminal legal system the way I do, there's very little help and remedies and legal aid in order to assist people. So I think people are obviously in a very stressed situation. A lot of times it comes with either addiction issues, mental health issues that, you need to work with the person on and, understand. But the advocacy, I feel like, is where I shine, and that people see, hey, like she's qualified, she can help. And I want her help, so that's my experience and how I felt. Again, doesn't happen every time, but I don't necessarily feel more unsafe, one location or the other because of that.
Well, thank you so much for joining us here in Time for You Evolved, the podcast for female entrepreneurs. When it comes to fears, we can either talk ourselves into something or out of something. And Corrin has just taken the bull by the horns as a freelancer and it's happening. She's doing it. She's building her business. She's hiring staff and is finding peace. So
Absolutely.
yeah, very nice. So again, I really appreciate your time and I love following along with you. I have not been very good about watching your YouTube shorts, so I'm going to commit to watching those. Are you getting a following on those?
A little bit, more than I thought. I think I'm about over 300 subscribers. So
very
more people than
fun.
I thought. I thought it would just be friends and family tuning in, but
Yeah.
I've gotten a little bit more than that. But no worries, Lisa. I know we all have lives and I totally get it. I really appreciate you asking such thought-provoking questions about my journey. So yes,
Oh, there's just so
definitely
much
appreciate your time as well.
Yeah, there's so much going on in my mind. I'm just so excited for you.
Thank you.
And I'm glad that there hasn't been anything bad that's happened, that it's all been good. And
Yes.
it'll keep
Yes.
going. So, and if you do make a visit back to the States, add me to your social calendar. I'd love to see you in person too.
Absolutely. Yes, I will definitely be in touch and let you know. I'd love to grab a in-person coffee chat versus a virtual coffee chat when that happens. So totally. Thank you, Lisa.
Okay, well, we'll talk soon. Wow, how exciting was that? Corrin is amazing. She's always struck me as someone that has no fear and is willing to do what it takes to find success. So she has really a lot of good things going on for her right now. And she's just stepping outside of her comfort zone. And maybe it's not stepping out of her comfort zone, it's stepping out of my comfort zone, because I definitely would not have been comfortable doing that. I hope this has been helpful for you as a listener of Time for You Evolve podcast for female entrepreneurs. Corrin has the confidence and the wherewithal to make this happen, and she continues to evolve and amaze me every time I talk with her. So, Corrin, thank you for joining us today. And thank you, my listeners, for also joining in. I appreciate you. And I look forward to seeing you on our next episode.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Time for You for Female Entrepreneurs. If you loved this episode as much as I did, head on over and rate and subscribe so you never miss an episode. New episodes drop every week. And if you want to support the show, leaving a review goes a long way. A special shout out to our amazing partners and sponsors. Their support allows us to continue bringing you engaging content every week. And with that, a big thank you. I look forward to seeing you next time. If you're ready to supercharge your email marketing and automation game, look no further than my favorite autoresponder, ActiveCampaign. It's the ultimate all-in-one platform designed to turn your contacts into customers and your customers into loyal advocates. Imagine having a tool that not only understands your customers, but anticipates their needs. That's what ActiveCampaign does. With its powerful customer experience automation, you can create personalized journeys that nurture leads, drive sales, and build lasting relationships. The biggest reason I chose ActiveCampaign after trying other autoresponders is because I wanted to make sure my emails were being delivered and not going into spam. I need to know that my emails actually get to the people I'm emailing so that I have good engagement rates, response rates, and click-through rates on every email I create. Then I can have peace of mind that what I send out about my blog posts or upcoming events gets delivered and that people get to read what I write. And since it's just me, using ActiveCampaign saves me a bunch of time because I've been setting up automations that I can just drag and drop, allowing me to save hours of time. Not only have their pre-built automations and integrations saved me time, I'm able to power a personalized marketing plan throughout the customer's life cycle. In the end, I really want to personalize my message and make sure that each person is getting a unique email tailored to them, because I don't want to be sending bulk cookie cutter emails. I want to make sure that my customers and community is getting things that are tailored to them as much as I can. Email marketing doesn't have to be crazy where you're not just pushing information. ActiveCampaign teaches you how to be pulling information as well. I appreciate the value I've received from ActiveCampaign when it comes to creating and managing email campaigns. The support through webinars, live chats, and live study halls have been very helpful in maximizing their platform and a great alternative to those other email services I've tried in the past. ActiveCampaign allows me to build a business without relying on advertising. It has simplified my marketing processes, saving me time, which allows me to focus on what I do best, serving my customers. Whether you're a small business or just starting or a seasoned entrepreneur, ActiveCampaign scales to meet your needs and grows with you. If you're ready to up your marketing game, go to my website, lisarcarmichael.com/ActiveCampaign. That's my partner link, and sign up for a free trial. Experience firsthand the power of ActiveCampaign and take your marketing to a new level. Don't miss out. Stay ahead and stay automated with ActiveCampaign. Go to lisarcarmichael.com/ActiveCampaign for your free trial. Hi friends. Today let's have a heart-to-heart about something that's been a significant part of my life, skincare. As a busy female entrepreneur, I need a skincare routine that's quick, easy, and super effective. Turning 60 didn't bother me because I've been taking care of my skin every day for 20 plus years. I didn't always, but I'm glad I did start when I did. Let's fast forward to 1 year ago, and let me tell you about a game changer for me. I stumbled across my secret weapon, Droplet. Droplet is not your typical skincare company. It's a revolutionary approach that delivers personalized monthly skincare subscriptions tailored to your specific skin type. The magic lies in the Droplet Micro Infuser, a device that creates microscopic droplets from formulated capsules, expelling them at a high velocity to infuse ultra-concentrated active ingredients deep into your skin. Now, I'm a self-proclaimed skincare junkie. I've tried it all, from serums to spa treatments, and even once selling a natural body care line. So when I heard about Droplet, I knew I had to give it a shot. I can confidently say it's made a remarkable difference in my skin and my routine. The Droplet Skincare Micro Mist Infusing Device is a game changer. It uses a gentle mist to penetrate ingredients 20 times deeper through micro mist technology. It works with formulated capsules similar to an espresso machine, allowing you to infuse the treatments that are right for you into, not just onto, your skin. Here's how Droplet works. Choose your serum, collagen, retinol, glycolic acid, or maybe a lip plumper. Insert the capsule, hold the device to your face, and press the button. A fine mist of the serum is released onto your skin, targeting your face, your neck, chest, anywhere you want to focus on. These misting capsules have transformed my skincare routine. The results are incredible, from increased resilience to fading hyperpigmentation. Why do I love Droplet? It's quick, easy, and the capsules are recyclable. No cleanup, no hassle. And here's the bonus. Droplet's formulas are clinical strength, dermatologist recommended, cruelty-free, sulfate-free, paraben-free, gluten-free, soy-free, fragrance-free, and vegan-free. It's a skincare lover's dream. If you're looking to level up your skincare routine and evolve beyond the basics, Droplet is your answer. Plus, they offer free skin consultations with their estheticians to address your skin concerns. Investing in a good skincare routine and self-care is crucial for any woman, especially us busy entrepreneurs. First impressions matter, and you want to put your best face forward. It's time to evolve and embrace the next level of skincare. Head over to the Droplet link on my website today, where you can start your own personalized Droplet routine. Here's to glowing, radiant, and fiercely beautiful you, no matter what age you are. Go to lisarcarmichael.com/droplet.